Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly review. It feels like so much happened this week that I'm actually exhausted. I wish we could just have a chill week for once. Anyways, let's dive right in and see this week in review. This week was a textbook case of ceasefire drama, bombs, expletives, and bill politics. On June 24, a US brokered ceasefire kicked in. Within 12 hours, Iran fired 3 missiles at Israel. No casualties, all intercepted or landed in unpopulated zones. Israel was set to retaliate, but Trump personally blocked them, dropping an F-bomb. They don't know what the bleep they're doing. That's funny. This comes amid a DIA low-confidence report suggesting U.S. bunker buster raids on Iran only delayed its nuclear program by a few months, not obliterated it. Iran reportedly moved enriched uranium and centrifuge equipment before the strikes. Damage was mainly to facility entrances, while centrifuges and enriched stockpiles remained largely intact. Later in the week, during a UN meeting, delegations jeered and walked out during Netanyahu's speech in protest of resumed Gaza and Lebanon violence. To sum everything up, Trump's ceasefire pep talk was basically, "Everybody stop bombing, I'm not happy," which is about as soothing as a punch in the face. Shifting gears over in NYC, someone else is fighting back. Zohran Mamdani. Zohran, a grassroots organizer, won the Democratic primary for NYC mayor. He positions himself as a working-class champion. Rising rents, wage stagnation, and equity issues are his core themes. His progressive message has rattled elites. Smear campaigns accusing him of being anti-Israel and invoking Islamophobic tropes have already started. Why it matters. A working-class anthem in urban politics. If Zohran wins the general election, expect bold policy shifts on housing, policing, and municipal power. Additionally, smear attempts signal the tension between grassroots and the establishment. Zohran's platform reflects demographic frustration, highlight of U.S. urban ideological battles. Now moving on to markets. They aren't just resilient, they are thriving. On June 27, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq both hit record highs. Nasdaq cleared 20,000 for the first time, and the S&P reached 6,200 plus, driven by rate cut optimism and loose trade relations. While bombs fall overseas, brokers are busy popping champagne. Go figure. We now take it to breaking news from overnight on Saturday. Trump's big beautiful bill moves forward, though not all the way just yet in the Senate. Passed on a 51-49 vote along party lines, with 2 Republicans also voting no. Let's go over some of the major points from the bill briefly and objectively. The bill makes several tax cuts from the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanent, unless changed later. It exempts tip income and overtime pay from federal taxes, allowing deductions up to $25,000 for individuals and $12,500 for joint filers through 2028. It also increases the child tax credit permanently to $2,200. It further allocates $1,000 contributions per child into savings accounts for growth and education. The bill imposes Medicaid work requirements, reduces provider tax from 6% to 3.5% by 2031, and shifts 5% of SNAP benefit costs to states, also tightening eligibility. This has particularly upset a lot of people who currently rely on these benefits. It repeals and limits Biden-era green energy tax credits, also allocates $150 billion to defense and $350 billion to immigration. It also increases the debt limit by $5 trillion. Now, it will theoretically add $2.3 through $3.4 trillion to the deficit over the next 10 years, with the Republican side saying this will be offset by growth of the economy. I hope so. Finally, let's end with a sprinkle of good news in the country. Ohio gives single moms a boost. This week in Columbus, Ohio, 32 single mothers began receiving $500 monthly stipends for a year, no strings attached, through the new Ohio Mothers Trust Initiative. Funded by nonprofits, the program aims to lift families above the poverty line. Participants report immediate relief, help with the bills, reduced stress, and a renewed sense of hope. And data tracking may expand the model nationally. $500 a month can mean food on the table, catching up on bills, or saving for school. This is good to see. If evidence shows lasting gains, this model could influence wider spread programs of this nature. And with that, this brings us to the end of this week's review. Thank you for spending some time with us. Risk is real, but volatility isn't universal. Stay informed, stay cautious, and remember, market highs don't mean world lows aren't lurking. With the weekly review, I'm your host, and we will see you next time.